All right. Hey, thanks very much, Stu, for joining me today. Stu's going to jump on board and he's just going to tell you a little bit about his experience down at BodyLean and kind of what he went through, his results, and how he was feeling beforehand, and then also building into just the difference that it made, not only in his physical shape, but his performance, especially for him, as you can see in the background there, lots of bikes. He's keen into a cycling. So once again, welcome, Stu. So before you even started at BodyLean, how are you feeling about yourself in terms of, energy, performance on the bike, maybe body shape, that type of thing? If you can just run us through that, and then we'll talk about your results.
Yeah, I guess I was feeling kind of, was it neutral? I was kind of at a plateau in my cycling. So I was kind of, with family commitments, I was going cycling once a week, doing a really big ride, kind of a fastish, kind of middle of the pack kind of guy. Like some days I would cycle well, some days I wouldn't cycle well. If I missed a couple of weeks through family commitments, I really kind of fell back down kind of performance-wise.
And some people will know specifically what that means when we talk about grades as well with cycling.
Yeah.
So what grade were you riding at that point?
Well, I'd say well, I wasn't racing. So I was probably a fast Group 2 rider, consistent Group 2 rider. So Group 1 riders would normally be people that race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So strong weekend warrior.
Yeah, exactly. Body image wise, I wasn't too bothered about body image. I was always I wasn't really focusing on diet or nutrition. So I was kind of like, sport for me was a way to eat as much as I wanted.
Yeah. Go train hard so you come home and scoff. Yeah.
You justify 2 bottles of craft beer because you had to cycle that day.
Yeah. Because you went out for 4 hours. Now I can eat whatever.
Yeah, and I used to go tramping quite a lot in the UK, and you'd spend like 8 hours walking in the mountains, and then that night you'd go to a lovely Highland pub, and you'd sit and drink like 6 pints of Guinness and have a massive steak, pie, and chips.
So, I don't get why I'm storing both hours. So it doesn't make sense. I've done 8 hours of exercise.
I go, how come I'm not skinny? So the body image side of things was, it was kind of like, I was probably down the pecking order. I think I just knew there was something missing.
Yeah, because you came in, we sat down, had a chat, which we'll do with everyone, 45 minutes an hour. And it seemed to be at the top of the order was more performance, energy, health, and then, the flow and effect is in.
Yes. So, yeah, it was the Facebook. Your ad came up on my Facebook feed, so I must have been. The algorithm must have sensed I was looking for something fitness.
I typed in Stuart McIntosh, and then put that behind in the function.
Grumpy Scotsman. That was the profile.
Grumpy Scott.
And up it came. So we chatted, and then I'd say when you sent through the nutrition program, I remember sitting with Kirsten looking at this document I printed out. And I actually was like, holy shit, look at what this guy wants me to do. Like he wants to, this is a bit intense. And I can remember saying to you, I'll give it a week, because it was like a 4-week thing, or 3 weeks of no carb or very little carbs.
Well, we started on like a 2-week phase, and then we're rebuilding.
So I did a 1-week practice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because I wasn't convinced I could do it. So I thought, I'll practice it for a week and see how I do. And then I did the first week, and I thought, actually, it's pretty easy.
If you plan it out and you get in a routine, you got the right support, then it's not easy, but it's straightforward.
Yes. Well, let's say easy. I'll qualify that. It's if you plan it and you want to do it, it's easy.
That's a big part. Yeah, you got to want it.
Exactly. So I think I wanted to do it purely out of I'm quite interested in trying new things. So let's see if this works.
There was also the side that people may not realize or won't know, is that you're one of the most competitive people that there is around.
I'm not really that competitive.
You sure?
Really.
Okay, mate. All right. Anyway,
I'm competitive with myself.
Yeah. So I set you a challenge.
Against myself.
Yeah.
So, and in the past, I've gone through hilarious peaks and troughs of being overweight and like borderline alcoholic, and then being a fitness fanatic. And it's like really over like years, like not like 1 month to month. Like, yeah, I can show you some quite funny photographs. Or is that Stuart? And I think I was quite annoyed with looking back at my life, thinking in that decade I wasn't very active. In that decade I was active, and I was trying to actually probably unpick what was driving these kind of big swings and cycles in behaviour, right?
Yeah.
So I think when that came along, I saw it as an opportunity to actually make a change that is not just going to be cyclical, and actually change the way I think about nutrition and fitness, and not just fitness as a way to get away with all the kind of things you want to do.
I mean, that's a really good point you bring up, that we try and talk about a lot and drill home that this isn't sort of diet. It's not something that you're just doing for a short term. This is something that you're trying to build in, and it becomes part of your life, and it's long term. So that, you know, when people stop working with us and we see them 5-10 years down the track, they're still healthy, they're still energetic, they're still feeling good, they're confident, everything that goes on, rather than, oh, you stopped and you put 10 kgs back on.
Yeah. And then also, so there's that side of it, and especially with men's health, for some reason, there's a massive mental health side of it.
Yes. Yeah.
So exercise and nutrition must be really big influencers in your kind of state of your mental health. And then sort of being a dad and having kids and all those extra
boys.
2 boys, emigrating to New Zealand, a new job, new country, all that kind of stuff. I was like, you have to find a better way of dealing with all these stresses, work stress, etc. And nutrition and fitness is a massive part of it.
So we'll quickly talk about the results.
Yeah.
So what did you notice overall? I'll let you run through.
So I think the interesting thing about and I don't do no carbs now, I do reduced carbs. So, but that no carb section, I can remember cycling down State Highway into the cycle group on a Sunday morning, and I think it was after 2 weeks or even a week and a half, and I realised that my belly wasn't hitting the tops of my thighs when I was cycling in an aero position.
Yeah.
And I was instantly like, holy shit, that is actually just changing nutrition, and I've lost weight already without even trying.
Yeah. And that's more related to bloat as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And low-grade inflammation.
Stuff with
water. Yeah.
And so that was I think when people see a result, they're then motivated to stick at it. So whilst when people look at that nutrition plan and think, oh, that's too extreme, I can't live my life living like that, you don't have to. But those first few weeks, you do notice a big change.
And it's essentially the base of a pyramid, creating something. Yeah. It's going to be hard at the start, but then we go, okay, how does this look long term for you? And everyone's different.
And you were saying to me, oh, how did you go on Sunday on the bike ride? And you go, I felt stronger. And you were like, oh, really? And like, because I didn't think you'd get the effects of all the weightlifting and all the power and the leg exercises. You thought it'd be a bit more delayed, but maybe it was psychological. Maybe
could be. Yeah, I did think I didn't think you would notice the transfer from the strength training into the cycling as fast as you did.
Yeah.
And on that note, so you started you weren't racing, and you're kind of like a good strong level 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then where are you now?
I just pretty much went into group 1. I think I got kicked out of group 2 for being too fast. And then went into group 1. People were literally gobsmacked, because we would get to a climb at the end, like Onslow Road's a steep hill, and I would just get up out the saddle and disappear off up the road. And people were just like, well, that was that guy.
You're an early adopter to the e-bike.
Yeah. 3 months ago, he was like in group 2 and, to coin a phrase, blowing out his arse, struggling, and he just disappeared up the hill. So I guess that would be weight loss, because the lighter you are, if you're a powerful rider anyway, you lose, well, we're discussing 8 to 10 kilos. That's a massive.
Percentage-wise, it's huge, right, isn't it?
Yeah. But also, you're not losing power. You're actually sort of increased the power in my legs, and I lost weight. So it just propels you up the hill. You feel like somebody increased
strength to weight ratio, and then better fuel for performance.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was eating better, so nutrition was better.
Recovery between sessions better.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the funny thing about the nutrition side of it, because you've got to push yourself away from carbs, you've got to fill up your plate with something else, and the best thing you do fill it up with is green vegetables.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Nutritious food.
And I have had a Scottish diet. Oh, that was the other thing, was I had a bit of a health scare to do with diet. Was it not long after moving to New Zealand, and the doctor sat me down. He was actually he was from the UK, the doctor, the consultant, and he'd worked in Edinburgh as well, so he knew of the Scottish diet. And the Scottish diet is pretty much meat and white carbs, not many vegetables, like tinned vegetables, frozen vegetables,
meat, potato.
Yeah,
like a little garnish on the side of something.
Here's an example. If you look at what people will call a Kiwi burger, it's got beetroot in it. Right? A Scottish burger is literally just a burger between two bits of bread.
Meat, bun, the burger.
Between two bits of bread with some chips stuffed in the burger, maybe chips as well. And the whole thing put in batter, then deep fried. That would be a Scottish burger. So the increase in vegetables surely would have increased blood flow, increased performance in the body.
Well, I mean, it's hard to narrow it down and say, okay, well, specifically veggies did this, right? But it's more you're being healthy and your body's now in a better position, a healthy position to perform, to recover, to utilize the strength that you have there. And I mean, we've talked about carbs a wee bit here, and I just want to make sure that we're not, it's just at the start we wanted to reduce and then bring back in, because everyone is on a continuum of how much you can tolerate. And we're definitely not the people that say, just cut it, it's bad for you, proteins, fats all the way. It's always individualized to the person.
And I think for athletes as well, if you're doing kind of long and slow miles, you can do less carbs. So in the early days, when I was still riding in Group 2, I was going out with sort of bits of salami, nuts, maybe not many dates, but mostly nuts. And I could do that on Group 2 rides, which weren't smashing it.
Yeah.
As soon as I then stepped up to the faster group, I had to have energy bars, lots of dates, porridge for breakfast.
It takes longer to create energy from fats than it does from carbs, and you needed that high level. So it's actually quite good to train when you're going with people that aren't as quick.
Yeah.
Then you can train on the fats, but then when you need the high performance, that's when it's good to go to carbs. But interestingly enough, amino acids, if someone functions really well on low carbs, then taking aminos during a race is good.
Yeah. So, and then I got into a pattern, because when I was going to the gym, your gym, it was a Tuesday and a Thursday morning. And I think psychologically I couldn't go on an empty stomach. So I'd always get up early and I'd have, and I still do this now when I go cycling, it's half a cup of porridge oats, a banana, and a big dollop of coconut yogurt. So that will be my breakfast if I'm going cycling, or if I'm even at work, if I've got a big day at work where I've got to climb a wind turbine or go and inspect 2 teams and it's doing 2 70-meter climbs, I will focus on the breakfast has to be carbs. Yeah.
And that's something that just everyone plays around with. Some people are better, because some people have a lot of lethargy if they have too many carbs in the morning like that. So it's working out, okay, what's their split that's going to be most effective for them.
Yeah. And what I do now, and the one thing I've carried on, although because I'm not training now, I don't wake up in the morning and do 20 press ups. I don't train in terms of like every now and again in front of the TV I'll do some leg raises and I'll do some planks just out of habit, but I don't train at the moment. And the one thing I've carried forward from our time training was my breakfast now. So if I'm not planning a big ride, I'll have scrambled eggs and vegetables, and maybe a bit of mackerel, like, the smoked mackerel, or maybe a bit of leftover chicken.
Yeah.
So it'll be like an extra protein with the eggs, and then green vegetables.
Yeah.
Veggies. I'll steam broccoli.
Energy, and you won't have those crashes of energy. Focus is better. Yeah. And you don't get really hungry 2-3 hours later.
And shitloads of coffee.
Oh, maybe you do have energy issues. Before this goes too long, so results were because what Stu just alluded to there is that we were training for a wee while and we haven't actually trained together for a wee while, and it's great to then be in contact and see that it's still healthy, still in shape, hasn't gone backwards, still crushing on the bike. So Stu, in a matter of 12 weeks, dropped down 10 kgs, and then over 12 months went from a good, strong level 2 rider up to one of the top performers, level 1. And I think that coincided with accusations of drug taking.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's the biggest compliment you can ever get.
Yes.
And yeah, I think that's probably a pretty good summary. And then, just energy and concentration and motivation, I think.
Yep.
Was all heightened.
Yeah.
So if someone's kind of thinking about they want to go to the gym for whatever reason, what would be your recommendation to them?
You've got to want to do it.
Yes. It's a big part. We ask a lot of you, right? Because
it's not cheap. But you're paying for a service, and you're paying for a good service.
Yeah.
So if it's not,
but you can go somewhere else and it is a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
But are you going to get out what you want?
Well, my experience was that we fed off each other, because you can be quite it was funny because one of the ladies in the group that I trained with turned around to me one day. I was coming out of the gym, absolutely and she was like, "Oh, Andrew's so mean to you."
Just the right level of meanness.
I looked at her for fakes. I was like, "Yes, he is, isn't he? He is." But it's because I wanted that. I wanted somebody to say, no, Stuart, you lifted 15 last week, it's 17 and a half this week. Or you only did 10 reps, can you give me 12? And you're at that point where your arms are shaking. And to have somebody there to say, no, come on, give it some. And it's not like somebody screaming at you. It's not a sergeant major, but it's somebody who appreciates how important it is that what you put in is what you get out. So I think, the downside for you is your location. If I could have more people in my if there was more people who were into what I'm into in this area, I could definitely, you'd have more custom.
Yeah. The cycling crew.
It's all about your target market. I think if people out there watching this want to take part in a running event, they've always wanted to maybe run around Ruapehu, the Ring of Fire event, or they've got an event they want to get into and make a good effort at, but also they want to make a life change, then it's definitely the thing to do.
Yeah, and it's funny how you mentioned about how the other lady said that I'm picking on you. And because you guys were training at the same time, it's just tailoring it to that person what I think is going to get the best results.
It's horses for courses.
Because if I had done that to someone else, then they wouldn't come back.
I'm not going to pay a personal trainer so I can get an easy time of it. I'm going to pay a personal trainer so he or she appreciates my goals and knows that to achieve them, you're going to have to it's not easy.
Yeah, it's hard work, but it's good at the end.
Nothing worthwhile in life is easy.
That's right. I think we'll wrap it up there then. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, sign off on that one. Otherwise, we'll be here. I know how much you can talk. We'll be here for another 20 minutes. No one will be watching anymore.
You'll have to edit me.
Yeah, no editing. It's all raw.
I do ramble. You know that.
All right. Hey, thanks very much, Stu. That was brilliant. Appreciate your comments.
Cheers.
And we'll wrap it up there. Thanks, mate.
Great. See ya.